Imagine a sports car so small, you could probably park it inside your living room. Now imagine this tiny thing having a turbo engine, rear-wheel drive, and handling so good that people call it a mini Miata. Sounds fun, right? Well, the United States said nope. You're not allowed to drive that here. This is the Suzuki Cappuccino, Japan's tiny 660 cubic centimeter turbo roadster that became illegal in the US. For one simple reason. Americans thought it was too small, too unsafe, and too weird for their roads. But here's the wild part. This illegal car is actually one of the coolest, most fun little sports cars ever made. Alright, picture this. Japan in the early 90s. Car companies were trying to make tiny, cheap, fuel-saving cars that still felt fun to drive. And Suzuki said, you know what? Let's make a baby sports car. So they made the Cappuccino, a car so small you could literally step over it if you have long legs. Here are the basics. It has a 660 cubic centimeter turbocharged engine. Yes, 660. That's smaller than most motorcycles. It's rear-wheel drive, like real sports cars. It comes with a manual transmission, no lazy auto stuff. And the whole car weighs about 725 kilograms. That's lighter than some refrigerators. But the coolest part? You can remove the roof in 3 different ways. It can be a coupe, a targa, or a full convertible, all in one car. It's like a tiny transformer, but polite and Japanese. What makes it even funnier is that despite the tiny size, this thing handles corners like it's glued to the road. People who drive it always say the same thing. It shouldn't be this fun, but it is. Now here's where things get confusing. Because the Cappuccino isn't dangerous. It's not fast enough to destroy highways. It's not loud enough to upset neighbors. It's just tiny. And that's the whole problem. The United States has very strict safety rules for imported cars. Things like crash tests, airbags, steel reinforcements, bumper height, and impact zones. And the Cappuccino? Yeah, it matched none of them. Why? Because it was designed for Japan's K-car regulations, where cars must stay under 660 cubic centimeters engine size, must be very small in size, and must be extremely light. In Japan, that's normal. In the US, it looks like a car that fell through a shrink ray machine. So the government basically said, nope, too small, too unsafe, too weird, not happening. And that's why the Cappuccino became illegal to import, until it reached the famous 25-year rule, which finally allowed older cars to enter the country without meeting modern safety standards. So for years, American car lovers could only dream about driving one. You'd think a car this small would be a joke, but the Cappuccino is one of those cars where everyone who drives it ends up smiling like a kid on a sugar high. Here's why people love it. It feels way faster than it actually is. 660 cubic centimeters doesn't sound like much, but because the car is super light, the turbo kicks in and suddenly you're zipping around like you're in a video game. It handles like it's reading your mind. You turn the steering wheel a little, the car responds instantly. It's like driving a go-kart with a roof. The fuel economy is ridiculous. You can drive all week and the fuel gauge barely moves. It's the only sports car where you can have fun and still afford lunch. It's rare. You don't see them everywhere. So when someone spots a Cappuccino, they stare at it like it's a shiny Pokemon. It has personality. Modern cars all look the same. Meanwhile, the Cappuccino looks like it's happy to see you. So even though it's tiny, people treat it like a little legend. Yep. But only now, and only because of one thing. The 25-year import rule. Basically, after a car turns 25 years old, the US stops caring about its safety features and lets you import it as a classic. Which means the Cappuccino, made in the early 90s, finally became legal to own and drive in the US a few years ago. And when that happened, American car nerds went crazy. Suddenly there were videos of people picking them up at ports, driving them around like trophies and showing them off like, look, my car is the size of a shopping cart. But here's the funny part. Even though it's legal now, it still stands out on the road like the one kid in class wearing slippers on picture day. People stare. People smile. Some people point and laugh. But everyone wants to know what it is. And that's the magic of the cappuccino. It doesn't try to be impressive, it just shows up small and happy, and somehow becomes unforgettable. The cappuccino might be small, but its impact is huge. It's one of those cars that proves you don't need a massive V8 or huge price tag to have real driving fun. All you need is something light, simple, and built by people who actually care about making driving enjoyable. Plus, in a world where cars keep getting bigger, heavier, and filled with touchscreens, the cappuccino is refreshing. No complicated tech, no giant body, just pure, honest fun. And because it was banned for years, it gained this mysterious forbidden car energy. People wanted it even more, because they couldn't have it. Now that it's finally legal, it feels like a tiny piece of Japanese car history got released into the wild again. And honestly, it deserves all the love it gets. So yeah, this little 660 cubic centimeter turbo toy car once got banned in the US, but now it's winning fans everywhere. If you ever see one on the road, trust me, you'll notice it. And you might even fall in love with it the way so many people already have. If you enjoyed this one, stick around. We go deep into weird cars, forgotten cars, and the ones you've never heard about but should have. See you in the next video. Peace.